What is our second main topic today?
This comes to us from Clark Washington, who says, going into the weekend, it seemed Lyle, Crocodile or Amsterdam would take the #1 spot. Instead, Paramounts Smile, dropping a mere 22.2%, remained in the top spot with a $17,600,000 second weekend gross. Meanwhile, Lyle, with a $50 million budget, grossed $11,500,000 opening weekend, while Amsterdam, with an $80 million budget, tanked with a $6,500,000 opening weekend. What are your thoughts on this past weekend's box office results?
All right, let's start off by talking about the positive thing here. Smile. Wow.
Woo.
What a run this movie is having. It is already percentage-wise one of the most successful films of the year, considering its budget to profit ratio. It took the second smallest second weekend drop-off of the year.
Amazing.
With just a 22% drop-off, which means word of mouth went out. Everybody wanted to go see it first weekend, started telling people. Now, listen, I'll be right up front. I didn't love Smile, but I did like it. I thought it was good. But most people apparently are telling their friends about it because a lot of people went back to watch it again, took new people with them. And that second weekend result, incredibly impressive, and it takes #1 at the box office again. Lyle, Crocodile, I don't think anybody's really surprised. I think the big surprising thing coming out of that is that we're hearing it's actually pretty good. A number of people are saying it's not bad. Which is good to hear. I have no intention of watching it, but still, that's good to hear. But still, did not make any money, unfortunately. Amsterdam. Oh, Amsterdam. I mean, I think it's a victim of a couple of things. Number one, the first trailer I thought was great for a first trailer, because the first trailer doesn't really need to tell you much. It needs to give you a feel for the movie, show you the stars, all that kind of stuff. The problem was that as their marketing campaign progressed, the second and third trailers never did really tell us what the movie was about. And so I think a lot of people just saw the trailers like, okay, this looks interesting, but I have no idea what this movie is. And a lot of people just decided to skip on it. And that's unfortunate because you got this thing. And then, of course, it didn't help that a couple of weeks ago, we started to hear that the movie wasn't very good. A lot of people took that to heart. And it is one of the biggest flops right next to Bros. One of the biggest flops, if not more so, because this was a more expensive movie than Bros was. So that's incredibly disappointing, especially when you're talking about Christian Bale, Margot Robbie, John David Washington, Rami Malek, Chris Rock. I mean, on and on and on and on. So it is unfortunate, but I think this is another case where you chalk it up to a really bad marketing campaign with bad reviews coming out. Then, of course, there's the ongoing drama of Bros, which dropped all the way to 8th place this weekend. And I've got a theory about this, and I think I might have mentioned this the other day, but I was one of these people. I'll take me as the case study. I was one of these people that I was not interested in Bros just because I didn't think the trailers looked funny at all. We saw the previews for it at CinemaCon. I'm just like, it just didn't make me laugh. Nothing about it looked funny. But then we started hearing from a lot of people that it is great. I mean, you're talking about an audience rating and a critic rating that are both in the 90% range, which is incredible for a movie to get both audience and critic scores that high. Sounds fantastic. So then I start to plan and go to see it. Here's the problem. In the time since the first weekend came out, Billy Eichner, who I am a big fan of, decided to start blasting on social media that he started out throwing out blame about why the movie didn't do well. And none of the blame was pointed at himself or the studio or the distributor. No blame about, hey, we just put out really terrible trailers that nobody thought made this movie look funny. Didn't blame it on, hey, we had nobody in this movie that the general movie-going audience would recognize. Not blaming that. He decided to blame straight America for not coming out to support it. To which my favorite line I've heard in response to that was Taylor saying, dude, gay America didn't turn out to support this movie. And that, for me as a viewer who wasn't interested in the movie, then became interested in the movie, suddenly that turned me off. And then another star from the movie came out and decided to go double barrel blast on Brendan Fraser for being in The Whale.
What?
Oh yeah, you didn't read about that? Yeah, well, like one of the actors in that decided to come out and go whole hog and start attacking Brendan Fraser for getting the role in the Whale because he's not that fat and he's not gay. Because Brendan Fraser is gay. And I'm just hearing about this and I'm just like, I wonder
allegedly not gay.
Allegedly.
Madonna just came out yesterday, and so allegedly.
So you never know.
You never know.
But
there's still time.
A lot of people, I'm just wondering if a lot of people might have been like me, where it's like, okay, the movie didn't look like it was going to be all that interesting to me, but then we heard great things. Look what happened to Smile. Right? Great word got out about it, had a really good second weekend. And I can't help but wonder if maybe a lot of people were like me, where it's like, we heard amazing things. Like, Taylor, you saw it. Chris, you went to go see it. You guys loved it.
Rose was amazing.
Yeah,
right? Everybody's saying it's great.
But it's really weird to me that they're pulling out all the stops. They even dusted off Madonna and made her come out of the closet to promote this movie.
That's crazy. Like the lengths they went to this, right? So like everybody was saying it's amazing. So I wonder if there'd be a lot of people like me who were not initially interested in seeing it and then hearing all these amazing things about it, because apparently they made a great movie that might have then got turned off by all this, the public talkie that people are doing. Because now, listen, I didn't make a conscious choice to then say, well, I'm not going to go see Bros. I just realized that all the interest that built up in me suddenly all drained out.
And that's a shame.
And it's unfortunate that this might be a situation where people involved in a movie are sabotaging their own movie. And it's unfortunate, especially since we're hearing the movie is so good. But again, let's focus on the positive here. Smile, this again, Blumhouse does it again. A movie that apparently they made for pocket change and bus fare comes out and is going to probably cross the $100 million mark, which is crazy. Hey guys, we want to take a second to thank the sponsor of today's video, Raycon. Now, you guys know I've been using Raycon as a part of my morning routine for a long time now. I love getting up, getting on my treadmill, pulling out my iPad and watching my favorite tech YouTubers like Linus Tech Tips, another good Canadian kid, by the way. And my Raycon wireless earbuds come through for me every time. Raycon's everyday earbuds look, feel, and sound better than ever. With optimized gel tips with the perfect in-ear fit, these earbuds are so comfortable and they will not budge. Trust me. My Raycons give me 8 hours of playtime and a 32-hour battery life. And one of the best things about Raycons is that they are priced just right. You get quality audio at half the price of other premium audio brands. It's no wonder Raycon's everyday earbuds have over 50,000 five-star reviews. And when I'm on my treadmill, the earbud tap functions help me stay hands-free, and the noise isolation is fantastic. So guys, go to buyraycon.com today and use the promo code Campea15 to get 15% off your Raycon order. That's code Campea15 at buyraycon.com to score 15% off. Buyraycon.com, code Campea15. Anyway, Aaron, you saw the weekend box office numbers. What from Lyle, Amsterdam, Smile, what story here stood out to you the most?
You know, in the immortal words of LL Cool J, don't call it a comeback. Paramount's been here for years.
Yeah, another big one for Paramount.
We saw what, those who were paying attention saw what happened after, Brad Gray was running Paramount. And then in the early aughts, they had, the late aughts, around 2007, Paramount really ran into, had some success with the Mission Impossibles and the Paranormal Activity, and I feel like this is kind of reminiscent of that period where they've got their big tent hole in Top Gun, the tent pole in Top Gun.
The tent hole where you
usually
smoke
let
the
him Chris
chicken.
first. I was still processing my thoughts. They have their big tentpole movie like Top Gun, or in that case, it was the Mission Impossible franchise. And then they have their, micro budget horror film. In that case, it was Paranormal Activity. In this case, it's now Smile. But in the teens, under Brad Gray's leadership, they started, and also with Viacom, who decided that instead of investing more money into the films and into the products, they wanted to just shift all that profit back to the shareholders. We now see the response of that. And in 2016, 2017, Paramount was really in big trouble. They had one of the biggest flops of all time in Ben-Hur. And they had also Zoolander 2, massive flop. They had flop after flop after flop. So they brought in Jim G, as he was lovingly called. And the guy really turned it around by looking at the Disney model and going, okay, what are you guys doing? And let's try to figure out how to do something similar to that. And so under his leadership, which has now been taken over by Robbins, I believe Jim Robbins, somebody Robbins, who came over from Nickelodeon, Jim G really has spent the last 10 years resurrecting Paramount. And even though he's no longer with the company, you got to give credit where credit is due, because he only left last year. So a lot of these things were in play, in development
Well,
at
listen to
Paramount.
this. Some of the Paramount this year: Top Gun Maverick, The Lost City, Scream, Sonic the Hedgehog 2,
Woot woot.
and now Smile. It's been a big series of wins for them this year.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that it's really a testament to reinvesting money into the quality, not necessarily reinvesting the money back into the shareholders who are just going to build a new deck. They don't care about the quality of the films. They don't care about the creativity. And that's what happens when you have creative people making decisions and not just suit-wearing bean counters. You have people that come back and and that's what I'm hoping is going to happen with all the changes that we're seeing at
Warner Brothers?
Warner Brothers. I'm hoping that we're going to see a lot more of that money funneled back into creative. I don't know if that's going to happen. Only time will tell, but I'm thrilled for what's happening at Paramount. If you've ever had a chance to go to the Paramount lot and take a studio tour, it's one of the best. It really is a magical place. And there's a reason that studio has been, in existence for now more than 100 years.
Chris, we seen, like, again, Lyle, Amsterdam, Smile, a whole bunch of stories here. Which story stands out to you the most here?
I mean, Amsterdam tanking is very interesting to me.
It's really unfortunate.
It's very unfortunate, but also, I mean, David O. Russell has not had a great track record with the public eye and his treatment of performers. And this was supposed to be this kind of comeback, revitalizing his career, putting some of those rumors and some of that nastiness to bay. And people aren't coming in theaters to see this. The trailers make this the narrative of this film very muddled. I have no idea what this is supposed to be about based on the trailers.
Yeah.
Right? Of just, it's three friends and there's a mystery and Taylor Swift's neat. Okay. So that's a whole issue. And I do think it's very, very interesting because I know a lot of your average moviegoer probably doesn't know about a lot of the David O. Russell drama, but all of my industry friends have been like, I don't want to go see his new movie. No, screw that guy, which I think has been very, very interesting.
And when you have a budget like that, probably
Yep.
overinflated because of the number of stars, it really
Exactly.
reminds us that it doesn't take star power to make a great film.
It's storytelling, right? It's good storytelling. I also, just to piggyback off of what Aaron was saying, this is such a tremendous year for Paramount, and I really feel like, yay Smile. I'm not a horror movie person, but it's spooky season, so of course these movies are going to do well, and it's great that it's got legs. I'm wondering if this is going to change the trajectory of their other releases, though, because Pet Sematary, wasn't that supposed to be straight to streaming?
I think Pet Sematary was supposed to be good. I think that was the main miss they had.
But I mean,
That was
I
terrible.
think that a couple different things, though, I think some of the things that they set to do online are going to change up now, because they can take some risks, I think. And I think a lot of their let's go straight to Paramount Plus model things, I think now they'll have a little wiggle room to go, you know what, why don't we try doing a theatrical release? Why don't we see how that goes? Because like you were saying, a lot of these films were made for basically pennies on the dollar. Might as well put it in a theater and see how it goes, since they're having a banger year.
All right, guys, question is for you. What do you think about the box office results this weekend? A lot of interesting stories in there. What stood out to you the most? Whatever your thoughts are, jump down to the comment section below and leave your thoughts there.